Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Awesome with Cody. As usual, I'm your host, Cody, and today we are wrapping up April's theme of awesome tournament fighting movies in honor of Mortal Kombat, which, if you want to hear more about my feelings on Mortal Kombat and Mike's feelings on Mortal Kombat and Joe's feelings about Mortal Kombat on the main show, that'll be up on Friday of this week, which is the 29th of April. I don't know anymore what day it happens to be. So the 29th? 30th. It'll be up on the 30th. 29th is Thursday. Anyhow, so the movie we're talking about today to wrap up the month is Warrior from 2011, directed and written by a gentleman named Gavin OConnor. Gavin OConnor has a long-ish career, but has very few things. But basically, he has some really solid movies in the last couple years, last handful of years, I should say, not a couple years, handful of years. His biggest movie, arguably, was probably the movie Miracle he directed in 2004 with, well, I can't think of the names right now. Who's in that one? That one has Kurt Russell, Noah Emmerich is in that one. I don't remember. Hold on, click on the thing. Okay, here it is. And there's another person. There's a lot of people in this movie. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about that movie. Miracle is about the United States men's ice hockey team beating the Soviet, undefeated Soviet team or something like that in something known as Miracle on Ice in the 1980 Winter Olympics, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a good movie. So that was one of his biggest ones. He did, a couple years later, he did a movie called Pride and Glory with Colin Farrell, Ed Norton, a couple other people are in that one too. It's a crime drama. He worked a lot with Noah Emmerich, didn't he? 4 different movies? Yeah, Jane Got a Gun, yeah. So he did that one, and then he did Warrior in 2011, where he directed, co-wrote, and he produced it. And then he's credited as a story writer for the Indian remake of Warrior called Brothers. But then he did he directed a movie called Jane Got a Gun, which has Natalie Portman, Joel Edgerton again from this movie. Who else is in that? Oh, Noah Emmerich is in that one. Boyd Holbrook is in that one. Ewan McGregor is in that one. It's a good movie too. And then he did The Accountant with Ben Affleck in 2016, and then he did The Way Back also with Ben Affleck in 2020. Both really good movies. Like I said, the last handful of movies he did, it's like Miracle, Pride and Glory, Warrior, Jane Got a Gun, The Accountant, and Way Back are really good movies. All of them are solid movies. And he's done producing on some other stuff, documentary about Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine. Is that right? Yeah, Mark Kerr. And then he did a couple acting gigs, nothing big, just small stuff, but he's done that. So yeah, that's Gavin OConnor. Yeah, that's what he's done. In this movie, we have essentially 6 main... Okay, sorry. You have 3 main characters, and you have 3 minor characters, and I will talk about each of them. So your main characters, Tommy Reardon Conlon is played by Tom Hardy. His brother, Brendan Conlon, played by Joel Edgerton, and their father, Nick Nolte, Patty Conlon, are the main characters. Really, the two main characters are Tom Hardy's character and Joel Edgerton's character, but Nick Nolte does do a fantastic job in acting in this movie, as well as he's a solid, person or solid character in this movie too. Is a very large part of the movie, drives the plot, and he's quite good in it, as I said before. Then you have Jennifer Morrison, who plays Tess Conlon, who is Joel Edgerton's wife in the movie. You have Frank Grillo, who plays the coach of Brendan, and then you have probably the next person, like I said, the large name, smaller role, is Noah Emmerich, who is in a lot of Gavin O'Connor's movies. Like I said a little bit ago, he tends to work with the same people a lot, and he's worked with everybody except for Nick Nolte quite a bit. But anyways, this particular time, so for people who don't know who Tom Hardy is, Tom Hardy probably, well, for me, probably his biggest role would be Rock and Rolla, because he's amazing in that, and I really wish they would have made the sequel. He played Handsome Bob in that one. It's Handsome Bob, right? Yeah, Handsome Bob. I was like, oh no, I'm thinking the wrong one. No, he played. He was in a movie called Bronson, which is really good as well, in 2008, where he plays the titular character in that one. And of course, not to be outdone by body standards, he was also Bane in the Batman trilogy. Well, not in all of them, I guess. We shouldn't say the trilogy, but the last movie in The Dark Knight Rises, he played Bane. And of course, he has the ability to change his body to very large sizes. He's very muscular in certain times. Warrior being one of them. Bronson being another one. Bronson, he's more ripped than he is like big, but he got real big in Warrior. He got real big in Dark Knight Rises. He was real big in was he? I guess he was fairly big in The Remnant. He was amazing in Remnant. And of course, played Eddie Brock / Venom in Venom. And then now he's also playing them in Venom, Let There Be Carnage. But yeah, we'll see. And he's been in... He was Mad Max or Max Rokitansky, I think is how you say his name, in Mad Max Fury Road. He was in, there's a movie called Locke he did, where he played Ivan Locke. Lawless, he played Forrest Burnant. Bondurant? I can't remember how to say his name in that one. So, Tom Hardy, he's good. And he did, if you guys haven't seen, by the way, Taboo on the television, he did that. Currently, it's still technically doing that, I guess. He's executive producing it. But anyways, there's a show on FXX, also on BBC, I believe. BBC One. Anyways, it's called Taboo. It's a really good show. Y'all should check it out as well. But yeah, he's dope. It's Tom Hardy, everybody. Tom Hardy. He's doing a lot of things. He was in Star Trek, which is insane to think about. He's done, I guess three different Christopher Nolan movies: Inception, Dark Knight Rises, and Dunkirk. He's been in those three. Like I said, he was in Mad Max Fury Road for George Miller. The Remnant, which was amazing. Oh, Legend. I forgot Legend. He played twins. It was really good, that one too. And The Drop with James Gandolfini. Anyways, that's Tom Hardy. He's been in a lot of things. Joel Edgerton plays his brother Brendan. Brandon or Brendan? I can't remember if it's Brendan. It's Brendan. Yeah, Brendan. Not Brandon. Brendan. But Joel Edgerton has been in a lot of different things. His biggest role, I would have to say, would probably be Zero Dark 30. Yeah, I think Zero Dark 30 is probably his biggest role that most people know him from. He also played the young version of Uncle Owen in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith of Star Wars. Owen Lars is his name. And that one is Uncle Owen to Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. Anyways. Yeah, so he was in that. He's been in he was in the Netflix show or Netflix movie Bright. He played one of the orcs opposite Will Smith. He was in Black Mass with Johnny Depp. So he was in Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio. He was in the King Arthur movie in 2004 with Clive Owen, as well as amongst many other people in that movie. He was what are the other big ones? Oh, he was in the prequel of The Thing in 2011. Was that 2011 as well? No, was that? I can't remember. Hold on, everybody. I did not pull that up as a thing. Was it 2011 when The Thing came out? Oh yeah, was the same year. Yep, 2011. He's made several movies a year for a long, long time. A lot of them were spotty. Some of them were good. Some stuff you wouldn't even know he was in. But yeah, he's always solid in like pretty much everything he does. He TV wise here in America, I don't think he has really landed anything large. But I know in Australia he did quite a few things. The Secret Life of Us was the big one, right? Yeah, there it is, yeah. That one he was on for like 32 episodes. There's a lot of people that was in that show too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that's Joel Edgerton. He's been in a lot of different things. He's pretty dope. So we'll see. Next up, Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte, everybody should know, because he's been in a shit ton of things. His career is super long. For me, 48 Hours and Down and Out in Beverly Hills are probably the two biggest things I've always remember him from, because they're fantastic movies. Well, another 48 Hours also. But 48 Hours is... actually, was he in another... Who was in another 48 Hours? It was him, right? Yeah. Okay, I was like, man, am I mistaken on that one? Yeah, so Down and Out in Beverly Hills, he plays a homeless man who is brought in, and then he becomes like a rags to riches story. It's really funny. 48 Hours and another 48 Hours, he plays a cop. It's a buddy action comedy or cop movie. Under Fire is a good one too. Yeah, he did so many movies, like multiples a year. Solid movies for like a long time. Then he kind of like lost his mind after so long. I mean, he never stopped acting. Like, there's not really a whole lot of time where he didn't have a movie or two coming out, but they were like smaller roles. But he's just really good in everything. He didn't go like crazy fucking, wizard blood and shit, or wizard with tiger blood. Is that what it is? Charlie Sheen went on. But he's been in a lot of different things. But he voiced a character in The Mandalorian. That's pretty cool. He is done a lot of random TV show stuff. Lots of episodes of stuff. A couple movies. Longest stint of something called Graves, which I don't even know what that actually is. But he's on that for 20 episodes. Gunsmoke. He was on an episode of Gunsmoke in 1974. But yeah, it's Nick Nolte. He's been in a lot of different things, and he's pretty awesome in pretty much everything he's in. And he's done so many different things, and a lot of like small roles and like pop-up things like Tropic Thunder, like a lot of voice work, like I said, The Mandalorian, Over the Hedge, a bunch of different things. But yeah, it's Nick Nolte. He's awesome. Jennifer Morrison has been in a lot of different things. She is plays the wife of Joel Edgerton's character Brendan in this. Probably her most famous role, well, her longest running role on television was in Once Upon a Time on ABC, which was a pretty cool show. That sort of thing. What else? She was on House. I forgot that she's in that one. Bunch of different stuff. She's been all over the place in things, and she's pretty awesome in pretty much everything I've seen. Frank Grillo plays the coach in this. Frank Grillo, of course, plays in the Marvel movies as Crossbones as well. I mean, that's his other name that he has in that one. He was in one of the Purge movies. A bunch of other stuff. He has a movie came out earlier this year called Boss Level, which is pretty cool. Noah Emmerich, who is who's he in this? He's in a bunch of different things. He's one of the dudes that discovers him and discovers Tommy, right? I'm trying to remember who he was in the movie. What else? I'm trying to remember if he's... I don't remember. Anyways, so the movie... I got distracted. Sorry. The movie basically is this. Tommy, who's played by Tom Hardy, is a U.S. Marine who visits his father, Patty, after being estranged from him for many years due to the fact that he was a abusive alcoholic father, and Tommy ran off with his mother, who was, of course, the target of the abuse, and who lived with her and took care of her as she was ill and then eventually died. He, of course, joins the Marines. He has come back to basically confront his father. We don't know why he's back, but you'll find out later. He he goes into a gym where he gets in a very quick fight with a professional fighter named Pete Mad Dog Grimes and knocks him out in less than a minute. A video of it kind of goes viral, and he gets invited to a tournament called the Sparta, and where he will enter to basically fight for $5 million. And then the other coin is his brother Brendan, who is played by Joel Edgerton, is a struggling teacher and he's a former MMA fighter who is, of course, struggling to provide for his wife, and he and his two daughters, who has mortgaged his house to pay for his youngest daughter's open heart surgery. He then takes on underground fights to fight amateurs for money. And then, of course, the rumor spreads and he gets fired or laid off or whatever you want to call it from his job. And, of course, it makes it even harder. So he convinces Frank's character, Frank Grillo's character, Frank, to enter him in a fight because Frank's fighter got injured when that fight happens to be Sparta. And the two brothers are essentially pitted against each other. Not right away. That's not how the movie goes. But they are eventually end up in the finals against each other. And the whole movie is basically about them coming to terms with the fact that Tommy ran off with her mother and she passed away, and Brendan stayed because he was in love with Tess, not with his father, but stayed and didn't help Tommy with their mother and wasn't there when she passed away. And so there's a lot of animosity there. Their father's trying to convince them that he's changed. Tommy doesn't want to hear it. He believes he's a terrible human being, which he kind of is. And Brendan is kind of like, I've forgiven him. You should too. Blah blah blah. And then goes on from there. A bunch of stuff happens. Like, I'll spoil it for you. You should watch it. It's a really good movie. And there's a lot of actual real fighters in it that play different characters. Kurt Angle plays Kobo, who's a Russian fighter. Russian, right? He's Russian, right? Hold on. Yeah, undefeated Russian wrestler. You have Nate Marquardt plays a character in this. Eric Apple plays a character in this. Anthony Johnson plays a character. They're all real fighters. And so on and so forth throughout the... It's a really good movie. You should check it out. That's about it for this week's episode. Tune in next week and next month when we have a new theme, which I have not nailed down just yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be horror movie franchises because of Saw, I think. But anyways, that's it for this week's episode, everybody. As usual, I've been your host, Cody, and like I always say at the end of these, let's be awesome.